morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Here's a look at the ES in the daily time frame. You can see the previous session, 6,600 held. Major market structure level. I've talked about 6,600 quite a while yesterday. We came into it, bounced nicely. It ended up being quite the rejection and the reversal off those 6600s, but it just couldn't hang on by the end of the day. Price got as high as about 6680s and then just crashed late in the session here. I mentioned to our trading room it was like the bulls fumbled the ball late in the session there when they had a shot to really put in a good day one low ahead of NVIDIA's earnings, and it didn't play out that way, but we did still continue to hold above that 6600 level. So where's the next 400 points in this market? Is it 6,600 to 7,000? Or is it 6,600 to 6,200? Which way are we going? Given the overall trending price action of this market, it's hard to argue against this thing just continuing higher toward that 7,000 level. We have about 3 good weeks of range that can take us here. This 3-week move, that 3-week move, and a 3-week move back here were all 400-point rotations after these counter trend moves as well. So the next 400-point move could be coming out over the next several weeks to the upside for a year-in rally if we can hold 6,600. A failure here, though, and it's a quick drop in the 6,200 down below, which is where we also have a rising 200-day moving average and a rising year-to-date value. That would be a full reversion of the mean trade. NVIDIA, how does it come out with earnings later on this afternoon? FOMC meeting minutes also later on this afternoon. How does that influence price late this afternoon? Again, we could come in here Thursday with a powerful reversal back to the upside. That could open up a 400-point rotation to 7,000 heading into the end of the year if 6,600 continues to hold. All right, looking at the NQ, similar price action. Nice little bounce here off the 24,500 level. 24,500 every 2,000, 26,500 here, or 22,500 here. Which way are we going next? Big time level here, very similar to the ES. If we can hold and bounce here, there's a shot to rally into highs heading into the end of the year. A failure here, and you're rotating into the next market structure level below, which also has a rising 200-day moving average and year-to-date VWAP. So big time zone here. We have not seen a strong low yet. We have not seen a strong reaction yet. We could still see a transition move through that market structure level. Again, a lot's going to come down to NVIDIA earnings later on this afternoon. Looking at crude oil, down big today, 3% lower here. Big high range day to the downside at the moment. You'll see right here already 130% of ADR. And what we've seen here lately is after heavy selling pressure, we have seen this market bounce back over the following several days. There's a 4-day little bounce back, another 4-day little bounce back, here a little 4-day bounce back. Once today's selling pressure is done, perhaps on a new low, we have seen some new lows. We drop into 58, maybe 57.75, and you're looking for a bounce back to 60 up ahead for a short-term rotation back up, as this market just continues to trade within that range. We're right at the center of the larger key range as well, so it's just back and forth in here right now, building energy for the next key move. All right, gold futures, that one's up 1% right now. This one's also within the larger boundaries here, 3,900 to 4,400. That's your next 500-point range. We could stay within that 500-point range for the next several months and build energy ahead of the next breakout and continuation. That's kind of what we've seen over the last couple of years, is that type of price action, is a rally, hold, rally, hold, rally, hold. Now we're rallying. This is the beginning portion of that hold. We could go 2, 3, 4 months sideways here at these highs above 3,900. So right now, back and forth within the center of this range. We look here at the YM. This one right now marginally higher. Big 4-day rotation to the downside. That's the widest 4-day range we've seen since April. And April was when we had our biggest part of volatility here after that early sell-off to begin the year. So that's a pretty big move. But we're still within the overall uptrending market. Yes, we have failed at 47,000 market structure, but 46 is the midline of the next level down. We hit it yesterday perfectly. We mentioned if we fail at 47, 46 is next with a shot at 45. But we've never tested 45 since we hit it evens right here and rallied. Do we come back into 45? That would be a tremendous opportunity short term to bring it back up. So whether we find a low today or whether it's in the next week or so, we could be looking at a nice push higher to end the year after this pullback, but we need to find a strong low first. Bitcoin, next up, Bitcoin here. This one's still lingering in the low 90s right now. Today's low coming in at 90,055, so 90,000. The previous session dipped below 90,000, getting as low as 89,325s. It's been a steady rotation lower here, and the current rotations here are between 15 and 20,000 point rotations. This is about 20,000. That's about 16,000. That's about 18,000 point rotations. The counter moves here and here are 8 to 10,000 point rotations. So from this low of 89, a 10,000 point rotation could take you to 99, and then another 15 to 20,000 point rotation takes you into about 80K below. So we're still in a downtrend. While we have pulled back 30% from the pivot high, we have a little bit more until we get to market structure. That's 75K. We have 80K right here as a 100% downside target to the key range. Do we get a little bit lower, or is this as low as we get? Gotta recover 100K. Once we recover 100K with juice, there's a 50% potential return here into 150 up ahead. So 125 and 150 would be the next major market structure targets ahead. That's 25 and 50% returns over the next 1 to 2 quarters. If this is a pivot low, and again, still judging the quality of this low as of right now, still may need a little bit lower to go. But if we get into that 75, that could be a tremendous opportunity. Looking at ETH, this one down 1% right now. This one's also failed here. Kind of a rounded top, bit of a distribution pattern, a markdown pattern here. We are coming into the 2,900 market structure level. Below that level opens up 2,150, and the 2,571 100% key range target from this impulse move here. We have since broken down, held the edge, and we're right now below the 50% extension. You tend to go get the full-on extension. So there might be another wave down here in the short term. Again, how low do we go? We're already in the zone where it makes sense between 3,000 and 3,200 we mentioned before. That still makes sense for a tremendous return back to the upside and across the way. But what if we get a little bit lower? If we drop into that 2,150 or 2,000 zone, that could provide a very easy double back to 4,000. 4,000 would be your FOMC key level from the October 29th Fed dates. That would be a tremendous double back to that level if we can dip one more time. So again, trying to see how low do we go for the next major opportunity. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. NVIDIA earnings on deck. Going to be big later on this afternoon. Everyone take care. I'll see you in the trading room.